Bring the one aspect that we have not touched. My daughter, when she was diagnosed, she was about 4 years old, like I said, and despite the fact that my husband and myself are both in the medical field, it shook us. It really, really, really shook us. We didn't know what to do. We were familiar with autism as an illness in the medical books, but we had not encountered it in a personal one-to-one. And at first, like she said, you see the symptom, you're like, no, her brother took time to talk. She's gonna talk. She's not. Oh, that's fine. Kids are different. Why should I worry? You are in denial. You don't want to accept that this is a problem. And of course, with our African ancestry, the taboo that comes with you having the child that's not doing or following the normal path, you don't want any of that. You just want to assume that everything is well, everything is peachy, and eventually she's going to start doing what she's supposed to, right? But when we went to the 18-month visit, the pediatrician was like, okay, I know you've been telling me that your daughter is fine, but how did you just go and meet this person? Just take this referral, just go to the specialist and have him tell you what he thinks. And the minute we saw the specialist, we walked in the office, he saw my daughter, 2 minutes, he was like, oh, she looks like she's autistic. I nearly lost it. I was like, what? You just met us. Like, what do you mean my child is autistic? Like, you have not even tested her. You've not done anything. No blood test. I'm a nurse. No blood test. No nothing. No urine test. What do you mean? Because in my mind, he has to do something before he can examine and determine and conclude, right? So he's like, okay, calm down, mom. I'm going to do some tests, but I'm just from what she's doing, the echolalia, she's like, I'm asking her a question and she just repeats what I'm saying. The fact that she doesn't keep eye contact, the fact that she's just fidgeting around the room, the fact that she's just throwing herself on the ground and the tantrums, I'm already getting a picture. I think that's what it is, but okay, hold on, we're gonna do the test. So for a few months during the period, the COVID time, he did a few tests back and forth. I went there and answered God knows how many questions on those questionnaires. And I was just like, okay, I'm tired, but I wanted to make sure, I wanted to prove him wrong. So I was answering the question and I was doing everything I was supposed to. And long story short, the test result come back and he's sending me an email like, okay, the verdict is out. Just what I thought, she's autistic. My husband, as soon as he heard that, I was like, no, my child is not autistic. I don't know what he's talking about. My child is not autistic. He went online and cousin Google and started looking for ways to explain what was going on with her. But the reality was, she was screaming nonstop. She was eating things she wasn't supposed to eat. Crayon, pencils, erasers, clay, chalk,
grass.
Anything that she could eat that we know is not edible, she will eat. She will, like I said, scream uncontrollably. And she had the noise thing too, where she would just close her eyes and the tippy toe. Oh yeah, I thought she was a ballerina at first. So I was excited. My daughter was going to be a ballerina. No, that was the beginning of the symptoms, the signs. She only ate crunchy things if it was edible. It was only texture was a big thing, big deal. What else was she doing? She wanted to elope. A bunch of things. They'll come back to me. But really, she was textbook. You read autism. You put my daughter picture there. Perfect match. It was clear as day. Now, we had, because it was during the COVID period, it was difficult for us to get any services. And because also we had decided that our child was not autistic, we told the doctor, thank you very much, thank you for the report from the specialist, but our child is not autistic, we don't want that in a medical record, we don't want anything to do with this. She's going to outgrow whatever this is. So, being a family of faith, we decided, okay, well, we are saying to the doctor, no, because of COVID, we cannot even pay, because the doctor said, okay, since you don't want this to be in her file, any service that you're going to need is going to be out of pocket. But fine, we can pay for it. Now, finding the service out of pocket was not easy. We looked hard, we could not find anybody that could even service that because of COVID. So the last thing result that we had was now to just go back to God. We decided, okay, well, we don't want even a medical record. There's nobody out there that wants to service her speech and help her with any behavior that she's having. We're just going to pray about it. But still, my husband is like, no, my child is fine. My child is perfect. She's going to outgrow these things. I don't know what these doctors are talking about. And man, he has a medical degree, but he's just cussing his brothers and sisters and he don't know what they're talking about. And his child is going to be just fine. But the pressure of her crying and screaming and doing all the things that she was doing, and it was like a routine. In the middle of the night, she would wake up and she would cry. three-story house, and he decided, okay, well, the best thing to do is I'm going to move to the basement because one of us has to remain sane, right? We're both going to work, and my mom, thank you, mom. Moms are the best. My mom lives with us. She's helping me with my daughter, and he's like, I'm just going to check this one out because at least one of us has to remain sane while we're still trying to earn an income. Because I'm the one thing up on now when the child was just screaming, and I don't know how to make her better. So for almost a year and a half, this is the life that we have. We have a screaming child that we don't know how to help, and husband is downstairs in the basement, wife is upstairs trying to make sense of all this, and we had to go to God. We really had to go to God. He wasn't ready, but one of us had to. So I realized that, I guess when they say when you are very low, the only way you can look is up, right? So I turned to my faith, I turned to God, I started praying, I started to seek support from religious leaders that I knew and connected with, and sisters in faith. I just started to really hold tight onto God because I didn't know what else to do. And eventually I realized that everything that I was doing was not really helping. It wasn't making her improve, and I was starting to get discouraged until I realized, okay, this is a covenant thing, right? I didn't get this child born by myself. It was him and me that made this child come. So I can be crying to God here all by myself in the corner, but until he aligns himself, until he joins me in this fight, I'm just fighting almost like blinded. I'm just like using a sword here because my fighting